You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 22nd of April. PM Modi arrives in Saudi Arabia, key talks, MOUs and Hajj quota on agenda. Hindu minister in Pakistan attacked, PM Sharif vows exemplary punishment. Sri Lankan church leader presses for dismantling of deep state in Easter attacks probe. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah for an official visit on the invitation of his counterpart and Saudi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. While this is the third visit of PM Modi to the Gulf country, it is the first time in 4 decades that any Indian Prime Minister has visited Jeddah. A report.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday arrived in Saudi Arabia's Jeddah on state visit to the Gulf country. The third visit to the Middle Eastern country comes on the invitation of his Saudi counterpart and the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. It is the first visit to Jeddah by an Indian Prime Minister in over 4 decades. During the 2-day visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with the Crown Prince over bilateral issues. The visit will also see signing of at least 6 memoranda of understanding, along with both leaders also co-chairing the meeting of Strategic Partnership Council. Reports suggest the meeting may also see Prime Minister Modi raising the issues related to Hajj, including the quota for Indian pilgrims with his Saudi counterpart. In a departing statement, Prime Minister Modi had said, both countries have developed a mutually beneficial and substantive partnership, including in the domains of defense, trade, investment, energy and people-to-people ties. We have shared interest and commitment to promote regional peace, prosperity, security and stability, he said in the statement.
All kind of talks are going to happen and all issues are going to be discussed. As you know, there is a Strategic Partnership Council between India and Saudi Arabia. So both the leaders, Honorable Prime Minister and the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Crown Prince, are going to chair the leaders' meeting of the Strategic Partnership Council. A large number of MOUs are being finalized and will be signed and exchanged during the visit, and a host of other issues on economic partnership, defense partnership, on our political relations. All these things will be discussed. It's a hugely significant visit.
US Vice President J.D. Vance and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi touted progress in talks for a trade deal between the two countries, their offices said following their meeting on Monday, as New Delhi rushes to avoid US tariffs and quote Trump's administration. The two leaders also noted continued efforts towards enhancing cooperation in energy, defense and strategic technologies, among others. Vance's office said the talks present an opportunity to negotiate a new and modern trade agreement focused on promoting job creation and citizen well-being in both countries. The Indian Prime Minister was one of the first world leaders to meet Trump after he took office. The US is India's largest trading partner and their bilateral trade reached $129 billion in 2024, with a $45.7 billion surplus in favor of India, US government trade data show. Officials in New Delhi are expecting to clinch a trade deal with the US within the 90-day pause on tariff hikes announced by Trump on April 9 for major trading partners. A Hindu minister in Pakistan was attacked in Sindh amid growing unrest over the federal government's controversial irrigation canal projects. State Minister for Religious Affairs Khail Das Kohistani was targeted when his motorcade passed through a protest-hit area. Demonstrators opposing what they call the forced appropriation of Sindh's water resources hurled tomatoes and potatoes at the convoy. Fortunately, Kohistani was unharmed. But Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has promised strict action. The incident comes in the backdrop of ongoing protests in Sindh, where locals have been rallying against what they allege a systematic exploitation of the province's natural resources, especially water, by Islamabad. Activists and opposition voices have accused the central government of prioritizing Punjab and other provinces at the cost of Sindh's agrarian survival. Moving on, in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, press freedom is under siege once again. Journalists are facing mounting threats as FIRs have been filed against two prominent journalists, sparking outrage.
In a disturbing escalation of media suppression, the government has filed first information reports against prominent journalists in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, including Amir Mehboob of the daily Jammu and Kashmir and Usman Tariq Chugtai, the former president of the Neelam Press Club. The FIRs accuse the journalists of spreading fake news and propaganda, sparking outrage among media circles who view the move as a direct attack on press freedom. In a press conference held in Muzaffarabad, scribes in the region condemned the government's actions.
आज हम जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करने जा रहे हैं उसका बुनियादी मकसद ये था कि जो इस्लामाबाद में हमारे जम्मू कश्मीर के जो चीफ एडिटर हैं आमिर महबूब साहब उन पे जो है हुकूमती सतह पे एक FIR दर्ज की गई। इसी तरह नीलम में नीलम प्रेस क्लब के साबिक सदर उस्मान तारिक चुगताई हैं उन पे एक FIR जो है वो बनाई गई। तो हम इन दोनों FIR समेत जितने भी आज़ाद कश्मीर के मीरपुर से लेके ताऊ भट्ट तक जर्नलिस्ट हैं उनके खिलाफ जो हुकूमती इक़दाम हैं न सिर्फ उनको मुस्तरद करते हैं बल्कि हम उनकी मजम्मत करते हैं।
The backlash comes amid sweeping amendments to the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, which grants broader powers to the government to arrest and prosecute individuals, especially journalists, on vague charges. As the situation continues to unfold, the journalists of POJK find themselves at a crossroads, caught between their duty to inform the public and a state machinery increasingly intolerant of dissent.
And amid the deportation of Afghan nationals from neighboring Pakistan, the International Committee of the Red Cross has warned of a humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. According to the humanitarian agency, surge in migration with approximately 5,000 migrants returning every week is exacerbating the already dire situation with millions facing extreme poverty and displacement. The ICRC emphasizes that over 50% of the Afghan population now relies on humanitarian aid. The Red Cross also highlighted that the situation is particularly challenging as Afghanistan is already grappling with a deep-rooted humanitarian emergency. The country's ongoing conflicts, economic instability, and the COVID-19 pandemic have left millions vulnerable, further complicating efforts to provide adequate aid and support to those in need, a report by Khama Press said on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Islamabad has said it will continue the deportation drive, focusing on identifying and deporting Afghans with Pakistani IDs, expanding investigations into illegal documentation. Pakistan has set a final deadline of April 30 for all foreign nationals residing in the country without valid visas. The move is largely targeting undocumented Afghans residing in the country. Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, the Archbishop of Colombo, on Monday pressed for the dismantling of what he called a deep state within Sri Lanka, which he alleged was responsible for preventing a credible investigation into the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. On the 6th anniversary of the bombings, Cardinal Ranjit requested the president that there must be framing of laws to eliminate the operation of the deep state group. His address came as the Sanaike announced the presidential probe had been referred to the CID. The Cardinal had picked a public quarrel with former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa for ignoring the panel report, which recommended criminal action against ex-President Sirisena, the defense and the intelligence hierarchy for negligence despite prior intelligence. The Catholic minority, angered by a lack of proper attention to deliver justice to victims, backed Disanaike during last year's presidential election. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.